Hi friends, I am Basavaraj Bilgi. Today I have come up with another new topic in English literature, that is epigraphs of famous books in English literature. I was somewhat fascinated about the epigraphs when I read some literary books, and I decided to bring those epigraphs to you people, and I have prepared this video today to introduce you the epigraphs of famous books in English literature. First of all, we will discuss why a writer uses an epigraph. Epigraph is a short quotation, praise, or a poem that is placed at the beginning of another piece of writing. For what? To encapsulate that work's main themes and to set the tone. After reading the epigraphs, we will understand what kind of book we are going to read, and those quotations or the piece of poem brings about the whole theme of the book in front of your eyes, in front of our heart. That's why epigraphs are used in English literature. For that matter, in any literature, epigraphs are used. And today we will see some of the beautiful epigraphs which are used by English literateurs. The first one is by our own person, Arundhati Roy. The title of the book is The God of Small Things, and the epigraph of the novel is Never again will a single story be told as though it is the only one. This line is taken from John Berger's novel G. As the epigraph tells, no other story can be compared with the God of small things. The next one is Lucky Jim. It is a drama by Kingsley Amis. The epigraph of the novel is Oh Lucky Jim, how I envy him, oh Lucky Jim, how I envy him. This epigraph is taken from an old song of English literature. The next book is Frankenstein or The Modern Prometheus by Mary Shelley, the wife of Percy Bysshe Shelley. The epigraph of the novel is Did I request thee, maker, from my clay to mould me man? Did I solicit thee from darkness to promote me? This epigraph is taken from Paradise Lost, Book 10, written by John Milton, one of the greatest epics of English literature. The next novel is Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov, the writer of Lolita. The epigraph of the novel is reads like this. This reminds me of the ludicrous account he gave, Mr. Langton, of the despicable state of a young gentleman of good family. Sir, when I heard him last, he was running about town shooting cats, and then in a sort of kindly reverie, he bethought himself of his own favourite cat, and said, But Hodge shan't be shoot. No, no, Hodge shall not be shoot. This epigraph is taken from James Boswell's The Life of Samuel Johnson. The next book is White Teeth by J.D. Smith. The epigraph of the book is What is past is prologue. This epigraph is taken from an inscription in Washington, D.C. Museum. The next novel is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The epigraph of the novel is Then wear the gold hat. If that will move her, if you can bounce high, bounce for her too. Till she cry, lover, gold hatted, high bouncing, lover, I must have you. This epigraph is taken from Thomas Park D'Invilliers, a fictional character from Fitzgerald's This Side of Paradise. The next novel is The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway, the Nobel laureate. The epigraph of the novel is You are all a lost generation. This is taken from the conversation of Gertrude Stein with Ernest Hemingway. The next novel is For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway, written in 1940. The epigraph of the novel is No man is an island, entire of itself, every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If cloud be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manor of thy friends or of thine own were, any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never sent to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. The epigraph is taken from John Donne's poem No Man is an Island. The next poem is The Hollow Men by T.S. Eliot, written in 1945. He was one of the Nobel laureates. There are two epigraphs to this poem. First one is Mista Kirch, he dead. This line is taken from Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness novel. The next one is A Penny for the Old Guy. It is taken from Guy Fawkes. The next novel is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. The epigraph of the novel is If they give you ruled paper, write the other way. This epigraph is taken from Juan Roman Jimenez. Next novel is To Kill a Mockingbird, written by Harper Lee, and the epigraph of the novel is Lawyers, I suppose, were children once. This epigraph is taken from Charles Lamb's essay. The next novel is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. The epigraph of the novel is In the desert there is no sign that says, Thou shalt not eat stones. It is taken from a Sufi proverb. The next novel is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, the Nobel laureate, and one of the my masterpieces of Leo Tolstoy. The epigraph of the novel is Vengeance is mine, I will repay. This is taken from the Bible, and the section is Deuteronomy 32:35. The next novel is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, one of the best American novelists. The epigraph of the novel reads like this. Notice: persons attempting to find a motive in this narrative will be prosecuted. Persons attempting to find a moral in it will be banished. Persons attempting to find a plot in it will be shot. By order of the author per G.G., Chief of Ordnance. The next book is The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri, one of the best-selling authors from India. The reader should realize himself that it could not have happened otherwise, and that to give him any other name was quite out of the question, is the epigraph of the book, and it is taken from Nikolai Gogoi's The Overcoat. The next novel is The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. The epigraph of the novel reads like this: Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone, but if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. This is also taken from the Bible, and the section is John 12:24. The next book is The Godfather by Mario Puzo. The epigraph of the book reads like this: Behind every great fortune there is a crime. It is taken from Honor de Balzac. The next novel is No Longer at Ease by Chinua Achebe, one of the best writers from the African continent. The epigraph of the novel reads like this: We return to our places, these kingdoms, but no longer at ease, here in the old dispensation, with an alien people clutching their gods, I should be glad of another death. This epigraph is taken from T.S. Eliot's poem The Journey of the Magi, and the title is also taken from the same poem, and you can see that. The next poem is The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, written by T.S. Eliot, one of the milestones of modern literature. The epigraph of the poem reads like this: Be mindful in due time of my fame, then divide he back into that fire which refines them. Is taken from Dante's Purgatorio, 24th book. The next poem is Gerontion by T.S. Eliot. The epigraph of the poem reads like this: Thou hast not nor youth nor age, but as it were an after dinner sleep dreaming of both. The epigraph is taken from William Shakespeare's play Measure for Measure. The next poem is The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot, one of the major works of modern literature. The epigraph of the poem reads like this: I saw with my own eyes the Sibyl at Cumae hanging in a cage. And when the boys said to her, Sibyl, what do you want? She answered, I want to die. This epigraph is taken from the Satyricon by Gaius Petronius. Thank you very much. I hope these things will create interest among you to read English literature. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel Basavaraj Bidgi. Thank you once again.